Hello,
Hello,
hello.
shall we start, sir?
Yeah. Sorry for the late.
Okay, sir, no problem.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm just sharing my screen. Okay.
Okay, sir, before that, there is a short introduction.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
sir?
Please go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, a very good evening to all the participants present over here. I cordially welcome all of you at the webinar on Illumination Leading to Innovation, organized by Institutions Innovation Council and Electrical Engineering Department of Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management JIS Group. I am Madhumita Ray, Assistant Professor of Computer Science and Engineering Department. A privilege to be the host of today's session. Welcome all of you at this digital platform. So today we have Honorable Speaker, Mr. Nilabja Bhattacharya, Illumination Design Engineer, experienced lighting designer with a demonstrated history of working in the lighting industry for renowned companies like GE Lighting India and Bajaj Electronics Limited. And he has a master degree from Jadavpur University focused on illumination engineering and design. He has rich experience in outdoor lighting designs, especially in sports, facade, and highway projects with presentation and specifications to client as per the requirement. He has a proficient in handling AGI 32, Photoshop, and Dialect software, proficient in AutoCAD, MS Office, PowerPoint, and other utility applications. He has expertise in building relationships with key decision makers, seizing control of critical problem areas, and delivering on customer commitments. Major experience across all facets of lighting design and technology, strategic management, and leadership and project management. He has excellent communication, strong interpersonal, organizational, and analytical skills with the ability to translate complex concepts into easily understood communications, excellent man management, time management, and leadership skills. Welcome you, sir. Welcome at this platform. So the next session is over to you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Amrita. Thanks so much. Uh, yeah. So I'm just sharing my screen.
So this is Madhumita madam actually.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
no problem,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. If the screen is visible, then we can initiate the presentation.
Yes, sir, this is visible.
Yeah.
You carry on, sir.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thanks a lot. So a very warm welcome and good evening to all students and delegates to this webinar on illumination leading to innovation. Hello everyone. Myself Nilabja Bhattacharya, working as a lighting professional for last 7 years, handling different types of projects in indoor and outdoor artificial lighting segment, especially in sports and intelligent facade lighting. Sincere thanks to the institution's Innovative Council and Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management and GIS Group for giving me this opportunity to showcase some of the new trends and innovations in our Indian lighting industry. Please note, if you have any doubts or query, please feel free to ask at the end of our webinar session. If anyone is having unmuted their mic, please mute it. If you have any question, query, doubts, if my slides is not going forward, please raise your hand and ask. Okay. Going forward, index or agenda of our discussion, covering some basics of lighting to new trends, smart and intelligent outdoor lighting solutions. Number two, that is very much in trend right now. Those are germicidal UV lights. Number three, human-centric lighting. And number four, intelligent controlling for dynamic lighting. So there are much more such innovations which are going on in our industry each and every day as LED marketing is volatile and also emerging and also changing each and every day. So there are new technologies coming every time and every year. So that each and every LEDs for day by day it's changing, the technology is changing. Now there are several applications from the point of view of lighting, and in case of medical facilities, in case of entertainment facilities, etc. So I have considered few topics to describe in this webinar because we have some time bound, and that's why. Uh, so going forward, some basic terms and parameters which are most relevant to our industry and lighting technology. So this slide is to just brush up the basic terms and parameters which are most often used when we talk about artificial lighting and its application. So as you all know all these things, I think all these parameters you very well known to all of you. If anyone can please describe me, if we can start from the four lighting matrix, that is the basic of any type of lighting system. So whenever we are designing anything, whenever we are talking about any technical terms, so these 4 points are very much important, because in our system, in our industry, we talk about value. We talk about value of these 4 parameters. So if anyone from the team, if anyone from the team can help me out to get these 4 parameters, what are those exactly? What are the physical significance, not the definition, basically what are the physical significance of these 4 terms, means luminous intensity, luminous flux, illuminance, and luminance. Is it visible in screen?
Yes, sir, visible.
Yeah.
Yes,
If
sir.
anyone can give just physical reference, what do you mean by these four terms? Okay, so if don't be shy, please just participate, but just interactive type of session. So just participate. I'll explain. If you have any query, doubt, then I'll explain, no issue, but just try first of all. If anyone having any idea about these 4 parameters, just try.
So CRI means color rendering index.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. The first 4 terms, those are the basic parts, means luminous intensity, luminous flux, illuminance, and luminance. Okay, so luminous flux is the rate of flow of light energy from a source, means the light coming out from a source, total amount of light in 360 degree, that we call the luminous flux, total light output of the source. Means maybe that's a bulb, maybe that's a tungsten halogen lamp, maybe that's a LED, whatever it is, the total light output or total luminous output of that source. We usually use the unit as lumen. Next is the luminous intensity. It is the luminous flux per unit solid angle of the light source in a given direction.
Please mute your mic. Okay.
Somehow.
Sir, please carry on.
Yeah. I think anyone has unmuted. Someone has unmuted the mic, so accidentally maybe. So going forward, illuminance. Illuminance is the most important and critical factor in all basic lighting engineering. Means this is the base of any lighting engineering, because already in every standards, if we follow in every client meeting, in every design, you have to follow this part. That is illuminance. That is the lux level value. So this is the amount of luminous flux received per unit area of surface, so that we can conclude as E equals to lumens into factor means the rate of change of flux that is coming to the surface. There are different types of hindrances when light is coming from a source to a surface, so that is factor. We call it as COU, coefficient of utilization, divided by total surface area of where the light is projected. And fourth, that is also very important term, but in case of Indian scenario, illuminance is much more predominant and useful from luminance. Luminance is basically used in European countries and Arabian countries. So in case of road lighting, in case of sports lighting, they are considering luminance value, not illuminance value. So basically illuminance value is type of illuminance, but at a particular direction. So if we sum up, then illuminance of a source or a surface in a direction of the observer is the intensity in that direction divided by the projected area. So these four basic
Hello,
terms are
sir.
very
Hello.
yeah.
Sorry
Please.
for the interruption, sir.
Yeah.
Can you please switch on your camera? We need some screenshot.
Camera, sorry.
Webcam, actually, front camera.
Okay, I'll share this presentation, no issue. Okay, so that
No, sir, actually, you show your front camera actually. I take your actually photo, live photo.
Sir,
Okay.
we have to take photo of the speaker.
Okay, one second. How to switch it on?
You just on your start video, sir, actually.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, is it visible now?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. So going back to the presentation. So next is CCT and CRI. This is basically the property of a source, means property of a light source. Means CCT means warm white, cool white, neutral white, daylight, like that. So the warmishness or coolishness of a white light, simply. That is the correlated color temperature, or CCT we call it. And CRI, that is the very important point whenever you are talking about the quality of light. What type of light is projected on a surface or a object. So color rendering index is the measurement of how colors look under a light source when compared with the sunlight. CRI is always talks about the source of light, and it is measured between 0 to 100. So 100 being the most highest CRI, and that can be achieved from sun, or somehow it is relatable with tungsten halogen, because all the parameters, all the VIBGYOR colors are present in sun, and somehow it is also present in tungsten halogen bulbs also. Okay, but in case of LED, it is ranging from 70, 80 and 90 as per quality of the LED. And in case of metal halide, it in somehow it is 70, 80, and in case of sports lighting, where we are using television filming, there the CRI is more than 90 in case of metal halide. But for high pressure sodium, low pressure sodium lights, those are already obsolete in Indian market. But in case of Arabian countries and in case of European countries, they are nowadays also using those HPSV lights. Okay, so those lights are having very low amount of CRI. Okay, one important another point, that is TLCI. You haven't heard of this term, I'm sure about this, because this is launched in 2018. Okay, so this is called Television Lighting Consistency Index. So basically this is a complement to CRI. Basically CRI is appearance of a subject on a particular light from our point of view, from human point of view, or from human eye point of view. But TLCI considering the camera point of view or video camera point of view. So how an object is looking inside the camera. So that is very important for TV film shooting, in case of film shooting, in case of sports lighting also. This is very important. So this parameter nowadays, it is already applicable in case of different international sports lighting, and in case of video shooting, in case of some film shooting, they are obviously checking with this TLCI, because this is very much important and correlated with CRI also. So if you are considering CRI as 90, you must go TLCI value more than 85, so that you will get a very good amount of lights and very good amount of color rendition in your camera also. Next is the glare. I think glare is very common, and we all know about glare. So it is not actually the part of lighting. It's glare from different point of view. You can say the disturbance to your eye simply with the through the light or through any other system. If you are disturbed with a element, we call it glare. Okay, so there are two types of glare. One is discomfort glare and another is disability glare. So discomfort glare is when you are uncomfortness in a, but you can work. But disability is a full blackout, means you cannot work in that environment where the glare is at disability level. And another part, that is regulatory applications and standards test reports. There are several standards test reports we need to follow each and every time we design for a particular project. There are
Sir,
different types of
interrupt
clients.
you again, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
Okay.
sir, interrupt you again. Sir, please, your on your front camera actually take 2 to 3 photo actually for her
Okay.
program. Sir,
Okay.
please, sir.
Okay. 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 Wait.
Just start your video, sir, only, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Please carry on, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Done.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so coming back to the regulatory and application standards and test reports. So these test reports are basically the piece of paper, but this is very much important. In case of explaining anything to client, giving any reference to client that we have designed on the basis of this standard. We have considered this source of light, or we have considered this element on the basis of this standards or these thumb rules. Okay, so there are different types of standards. In case of Indian standards, in India we are following IS 1944, IS 3646, Indian Road Congress standard, SP 72 or National Lighting Code, like that. In case of CIE standards, it is basically used in North America and South America. So in case of CIE standards, there are sports standards, exterior lighting standards, CIE 169, CIE 129. In case of EN standard or European standard, which are followed in European countries, like Euro EN 12464, part 1, part 2 for indoor lighting part and outdoor lighting part. Standards like FIFA guideline, FIH guideline, IAAF guideline, BWF guideline. The FIFA means for football, FIH means for hockey, IAF for tracks and fields lighting, BWF for Badminton World Federation. So all these standards we need to follow for different types of designing, and what area should be selected, what type of luminaire should be selected, what will be the height of the luminaire, what will be the glare restriction. All these things will be covered in these reports.
आपका पैसा घुसा है या नहीं? अरे देखिए एक महीना करके
Now, please mute yourself, student. Sir, carry on, sir, please.
Yeah. No issue. These are all about standards. And now coming back to the reports, means these are very much important for LED. So LM79, LM80 and TM21. Basically, these are talking about the type of luminaire, what is the quality of luminaire, what is the quality of light source you are using in a luminaire. So LM79 talks about the lighting part of the luminaire, its photometric and electrical characteristics. LM80 decides the type of luminaire, its type of emission of flux, its size, its life, like that. So TM21 and LM80 is combined together to get the life of an LED. So generally in our daily cases, in our daily regular usage of luminaires, we consider L70, that is 50,000 burning hours. Means for depreciation of light level to 30%, we can go up to 50,000 burning hours. Okay, so that is the general life of LED. Nowadays, it is also more than 1 lakh also. Means L70 at the rate 1 lakh, L70 at the rate 70,000 hours also, there is also available. EMI EMC testing, this is also basic testing of LED luminaires. Type test reports, clients asking for type test report of different luminaires, so that they have an idea about what type of luminaire we are suggesting and what we are providing them, what we are delivering them, like that. And last part is the smart lighting control. This part I'll discuss later on my webinar. Okay, in next slides. Coming back to the second part, that is the germicidal UVC lights. So this radiation spectrum, I know electromagnetic radiation spectrum is well known to all of you, basically. So this is visible light, what we are dealing with exactly. And there is infrared, right hand side there is infrared zone, and in the left hand side there is UV ray zone. So there are three types of UV rays. So basically UVA, UVB and UVC. So actually sun delivers the three spectrum properly, but in some cases this UVC light is very much important in our present day scenario. Basically, if you can see in this slide, I have mentioned three UV radiations, UVC, UVB and UVA, having different wavelength. UVC having 100 to 280 nanometer, UVB having 280 to 315 nanometer, and UVA having 280 to 400 nanometer. So from this, UVC is very important for killing or disinfection purpose, because it can easily destruct the DNA structure of virus, bacteria, protozoa, etc. So if their DNA has been splitted, they can't be able to multiply itself. So basically, at that time that is not infectious to anyone. In UVB light, that is used for phototherapy, for skin phototherapy use, and UVA light, that is for curing interscraps, etc. So in case of UVC lights, we use a particular nanometer. In case of UVC light, the peak comes at the point of 254 nanometer. So that is the very important point, how we convert our LED system to irradiate UVC light in that nanometer range, so that can be used for disinfection of any area or disinfection of any surface. So we only use this UVC radiation not over the human body, only to the hard surfaces. Means it can be used in offices, it can be used in small working areas, small workstations, in case of disinfecting tunnels, in case of hospitality, in case of hotels and all. Okay, so basically this splitting of DNA, that is the fusing of strands of DNA, that we call thymine dimers. Okay, and the this technique of reducing their ability to multiplication, that is called deactivation of the viruses or bacteria or whatever. So basically, in application in today's scenario, we have used these three products. I'm not going deeper into the product specification and how we are getting this UVC, because that is company patent. But you can, this is already easily available in Amazon also. You can go and buy it. So different types of UVC products are available. So you can use, this is the first one, is very small kind of a product. So you can use it to disinfect your laptop, your desk area. The second one is portable, medium wattage portable UVC product, that is used for hospital patients, laboratory, office conference rooms. And third one, that is medium wattage fixed, that should be fixed in a particular surface or particular ceiling area. It is used for larger areas like public transport, disinfection zone, common public space disinfection, like that. Okay. So you have to irradiate that area for a certain time and with a certain amount of light, so that it can disinfect the whole area. It can kill all the bacteria, protozoas, viruses present in that area. Okay. So basically, using of these products is very difficult. Basically, if you are not cautious about using these products, then there can be accidents. Accidents means if you are not taking care of the UVC lights, it can cause burning sensation to your eye. It can even burn your skin also. So don't ever try to access the inner parts of the luminaire, and we are not professionals, so we cannot actually repair the UVC lights directly. We cannot look into the UVC lights, etc. Okay, and those you can if you have a training on how to use UVC light, you can easily use that. Irradiation area should be vacated before we switch on the UVC light, and proper barricading and caution notes to be provided in that area, that this area has been used for UVC light radiation. Please stay away from this area, like that. Very important topic, my favorite also. So human centric lighting. So basically, human centric lighting is intended to promote a person's well-being, mood, and health. It can improve concentration, safety, efficiency in workplaces, and educational environments. We all know that light plays a very important role in visual, emotional, and biological well-being of human. In our today's busy life, in office and institutions, in home also, where daylight is not properly available during work hours, human-centric lighting can help us connect with nature by changing light CCT and its intensity that replicates the effect of daylighting or sunlighting. Daylighting means changing of daylight over time period, and also during night it's totally off. So we prepare a light sinking, we prepare a system with the available lighting, so that we can get that feeling of changing of different times in a day of our regular work life. So we can say that right light in a smart, innovative way can improve concentration, safety, and efficiency at work. Human-centric lighting is directly connected with circadian rhythm. So I have written the circadian rhythm with a brain signature. Okay, so why this is connected? Because very much important this is to know that circadian rhythm or circadian circle is a sleep wake cycle. Okay, and it repeats itself in every 24 hours. These 24-hour rhythms are driven by circadian clock. I'll show you in that next slide. It regulates through two basic hormones. One is melatonin, another is cortisol. I guess you all know about these two hormones. One is melatonin, that is known as sleep hormone or relax hormone, and another is cortisol, that is called active hormone or stress hormone. So if these two hormones replaces their timeline, if the melatonin is coming at the daytime and cortisol is coming at night time, then there will be big issue. So during daytime you will be drowsy, you will be very much dull, and you will not be active in the work, and at night you will be awake. Okay, so this basic circadian rhythm is very much connected with nature, is very much connected with the sunlight, very much connected with the daylight actually. But in our workplaces we do not get that much amount of daylighting, so our body cannot sync with the artificial lighting environment inside the office or inside the educational institutions, inside the hospitals, etc. So we created a system, we created a light shifting inside a area, so that we can get this effect, so that our body mind will be synced with the nature, but that is artificial. Okay, so basically, how we sync the light? We sync the light in a similar way. How the daylight is sinking means at time of morning, the bright sunlight with a higher amount of light. So we provide that only. Whenever we need higher amount of light, higher amount of energy during work, we provide higher amount of light with higher CCT. And whenever we need rest, we need relax, that time we use warm white light with lower amount of CCT to make our mind in a relaxed condition. So next slide, this is called the circadian rhythm cycle. This is basically circadian clock. So this is 24-hour clock. You can see if you are starting from 6 a.m. at the left hand side center. Okay, so 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m., 7:30 a.m., 10 a.m. So 10 a.m. we are reaching our office environment, or we are reaching our institutions, etc., where we generally work, but there is no much amount of daylight available. So making our day very workful, we create a environment where the light level is very high with higher CCT, means CCT range going above 6700, means totally cool white light. Okay, then coming to the noon time, means after 10 or 11 we are going in a working condition where we can work with general consideration of 4000K, means this is neutral kind of light. This is somehow between warm white and cool white. So this is low CCT but with higher lux level, because if we decrease down the light level, that will increase our melatonin level. So like that. After that, it's coming around 2:30 to 3:30. After lunchtime, there's a dip. There's a dip, means there is a relaxation of our mood. So this post lunch dip, we call it post lunch dip. To reduce that post lunch dip, we provide again that 6700K or 6500K CCT with higher CCT and higher lux level, so that our body and mind will get an energy to work again. Okay, and at last, whenever we are trying to leave the office, we need some relaxation of our mind and body. So we are converting this cool light of 6500K to again 3000K with low CCT and low light for relaxing and leaving the office. A practical scenario I am showing here. See, in the first phase, we can see 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. The light level is totally cool. Okay, so 6500 and more than 6700, like that. In middle scenario, when there is a time between 12 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., there is general lighting, 4000K and low CCT and high lux level. And last scenario, that is the time of the evening part, the 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m., when we are relaxed to leave the place, or we are relaxed to leave the office premises, we need warm kind of light with lower CCT, so that the melatonin secretion in our body increases.
Please, everyone mute yourself. Everyone mute yourself.
सब्जेक्ट क्या था वही नहीं पता बारिश देखी पड़ा
Student, please mute yourself.
আমরা পড়িনি ফোর্থ সেমিস্টারেও আমরা মানে কি বলবো ওই ওই করে কাটি
Student,
Just a minute.
student,
Just
please
a minute.
mute
sir.
yourself.
Okay, sir. Okay,
Yeah.
sir. Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Next, this is also very important topic, and this is not basically theoretical. This is totally practical point of view, and this we do not study in our colleges and in our theoretical classes. Okay, so this is from my practical background and knowledge. So this fourth point, that is very much relevant, and if you want to work in this industry, then you have to know about this fourth point. Okay, so basically in our lighting industry also 10 to 12% of the total strength will know about this kind of lighting. So this is very much available in case of Arab, means Dubai and all, in European countries, and China also. This type of dynamic lighting, and India, this market is emerging. Okay, so the controlling of those system, controlling of those type of luminaire, totally different from the our regular luminaires, our regular type of lighting. So going forward, basically this is connected with facade lighting. Okay, so facade lighting means this is type of illuminating a building, illuminating a huge structure in a different time of night, in a different color, or maybe in a single color, or maybe changing of color in different parts of the year, different days, important days of the year. So architectural or facade lighting is one of the most niche segment, we can say, most niche segment in the lighting industry, and it is nowadays very common to install artificial lighting over facade to give it a new look during night time. It is a costlier lighting affair, so compared to the other indoor areas and other street light and all areas, all lighting. Still, consumer wants to install all these luminaires. all these luminaires over their facade because of basic 4 reasons. Number one, it adds an emotional value to the architecture. Means if you are giving a different color to the facade, then that will replies a message, gives a message to the area, to that area or to that locality. Number two, it increases aesthetic part of the structure during night also, and it also boosts tourism, because I'll give you an example that how it boosts tourism. And number four, that is the role in conveying message during special days or occasions. Means if it is holy, then we can put holy theme. If it is national day, we can create tricolor flag over the facade, like that. So here are some example, and we select the facade lighting depending upon what type of building is there. So whatever is showing in screen, this is the classic or Western style. Basically, in case of Dubai, Turkey, in case of ancient European countries, you can see this type of buildings. Okay, basically left hand side is our Indian building, one Indian building, and right hand side is from Turkey. And somehow some modern or Asian type architecture where there is a glass facade, there is no solid part of the facade. So those kind of facades are illuminated in a different manner. And third one, that is our Indian style of facade. Means different kind of architecture, different mix up of architecture of Indian culture and Western culture also. There is a mix. So left hand side you can see the Dakshineshwar temple of Kolkata, and right hand side you can see the CST station of Mumbai, Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus station in Mumbai. You can see there we have created a flag in Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus. So tricolor flag we have created on a day of National Day. It's 15th August we have created this national flag. So in that case, several people from different areas of India come to this place to see this. Okay, so this boosts tourism basically. So changing of color, changing of a different shade in night time. Whenever you are seeing the building in daytime, this is flat. Okay, so there is no shadow and light effect that much predominant. But in case of night, you can create that. You can create. There are several areas you can select; those are to be in dark, and several areas you can select; those are to be in light. So like that. So before going inside the controlling of these type of luminaires, how we can control this type of color changing luminaires, we need to know what type of other luminaires there. Number one, that is white luminaire. I have shown one image of Dakshineshwar temple, that is totally cool, totally warm white light. So there is no change of lighting. So every day, each and every day, it will glow in warm white on. So we have selected the luminaire in warm white only. The LEDs will be in warm white only. And there are fixed colors also, maybe red color of light, maybe blue color of light, maybe green color of light, like that. So basic, whenever you are entering in the dynamic lighting scenario, you need to get out of all these things. Means warm white, cool white, you have to get out of all these things and go into RGB kind of lighting. RGB means these are the three primary colors. With the help of that, we can create any type of color over the facade. So you can see this is a color chart, color wheel we say. There is red, green and blue. These are three primary colors. We can mix these colors in different values and we can create 16.7 million colors. So basically for dynamic color changing, there are two types. Means one is discrete RGB LEDs, means there will be red LED, green LED, blue LED in a single luminaire, and we mix those colors and to get a new color like this. There is 2R chip, two blue chip, 2 green chip, 2 white chip. So this is RGB, RGBW like that. So red, green, blue and white. So we mix those 4 amount. We can put the values. I'll explain how we are creating different colors. So there are different types of LEDs itself. So there is red LED, there is green LED, there is blue LED, there is white LED. So we are mixing those colors in a different value, so that we are getting a different type of light output. Means, say for example, if you want to create this one, if you want to create a magenta color, then you have to proportionately mix red and blue, like that. So in that place, green will be switched off and white will be switched off. Only red and blue will be switched on. Okay, we can control that. Here you can see the luminaire. This is our luminaire, one luminaire. Here you can easily see green LED, blue LED, red LED, white LED. We mix all, and see these LEDs are not positioned in a proper manner. Those are discrete anywhere. Means one red is there, one red is there, one red is there, another red is there, like that. So discrete manner we provide the LEDs and we create the themes. We change the amount of light emission from those red, blue, and green LEDs, and we can get the colors whatever we want. And another one, that is 4-in-1, means in a single chip we are getting R, G, B, and W together. So the color mixing of this part, this kind of luminaire is very good and costlier affair. This is also very costlier luminaire. In case of any type of luminaire in industry, this is most costlier in luminaire in our lighting industry. So we have to bunch out in a single LED. There will be red, green, blue, and white LED, and we'll put a lens over here, and again red, green, blue, white. Put a lens over here, red, green, blue, white. Put a lens. So a single LED will emit magenta light. This will also emit magenta light. This will also emit magenta light. This will also emit magenta light. So totally we'll getting magenta light from our luminaire. But in here you can see there will be red, red, and blue, blue, and greens will be switched off. So there is no contribution from green and white, and there is a gap between two red LEDs. So there will be a mismatching of beam matching. Means if there is a gap, there will be a part where the light mixing is not there. So in case of green and white LED, there will be no mix up. But here in the right hand side where 4-in-1 RGB is there, the mix up of color is very well. So this is basically we are using this type of luminaire and controlling with the help of a controlling system to change the colors, and it will change automatically. Okay. So basically this is the structure is very complex, but don't go into this. Okay, I'll give you an example of very similar to this. I'm just prepared this slide for explanation purpose only. So basically there are two parts of this type of lighting. One part, left hand side part, is the LED part or lighting part, and right hand side part is the controlling part or control system part. So left hand side, there is intelligent controllable RGB luminaires. First of all, we need RGB lighting, RGB LEDs inside the luminaire. First criteria. Second criteria, you have to feed signal. Luminaire will be capable of getting signal from the control system. So there must be one provision of signaling control inside the luminaire. And third one is the power connection. That is obviously we know power connection is most important. And in case of right hand side, the DMX control system, there are three parts. One is DMX controller, which controls the type of light which will change, what light will change in which color, like that. So that DMX controlling system, that is the main controller, the master controller of the whole light show. So it will control the whole system through the programming. And second one is splitter or signal booster. It splits the signal from one point on junction point to different points. And third one is laptop or PC. We need to provide software, and we'll design a software. We'll provide a programming on the basis of our types of luminaire or basis of our theme, what we needed over the facade, and we can go ahead. So basically left hand side is for luminaire and right hand side is for controlling system. So interconnection between two will give us a light show, give us a facade lighting, changing facade lighting. So the sequence of controlling process, how we control the process, how we do all these things. First of all, we select the luminaires. What type of luminaires are mounted in which area of the facade? So at the top floor, there are 50 luminaires. In the middle floor, there are 20 luminaires. And the ground floor, there are 30 luminaires. So we zonalize all the luminaires. So these luminaires will be at the top part. These luminaires will be at the middle part. These luminaires will be at the lowest or bottom part. Next point is the addressing of luminaire. This is very important because how you can communicate with a friend with a name, means if I'm communicate with Rajesh, then I have to call him Rajesh. If I'm communicate with Anushka, then I have to call him Anushka, call her Anushka. So there is a addressing, each and everyone having a name. So we put each and every luminaire a name, that is we call addressing, a number, a binary number, so that it can communicate with the controlling system. Controlling system in programming, we provide those numbers to identify that luminaire, and if we want to create blue light from that luminaire, we'll program accordingly and give it a blue light, like that. Third one is the software operation. We have a different controlling system manufacturer having different types of softwares. Means like it's a mobile application kind of a software. You can download it, you can fix it in a computer, the software, and you program as per your zonal luminaire location and addressing. You just give the values of RGB. RGB values generally ranging from 0 to 255. So you can select any value from 0 to 255, and you can by mixing RGB colors. Okay. Fourth one is theme selection. What type of themes you need, what color you need, in which pillar, in which facade, which surface, which floor. You need what type of color, you select the theme and program that accordingly in your software. And last is the final handover. In final handover, generally what we do some troubleshooting. Because during programming and during addressing, if there is any issue, any doubts of this number, say for example number 36 luminaire is not getting proper address, it's not behaving whatever I am trying to make it behave like. Okay, so we troubleshoot those in our site also. We make it again, address it, and make it again visible in our system, and make it again coming through the control system, and finally hand over the project to the client. And this is the connection diagram. Basically, you can see we have given addresses to each luminaire, the 001, 004, 007. Why 001, not 002 in the next luminaire? Because each and every luminaire having 3 channels. Okay, RGB. So 001, 002, 003 will be occupied by the first luminaire. 004, 005, 006 will be occupied by second luminaire. 007, 008, 009 will be occupied by third luminaire. Like that, we have marked all the luminaires, and now we are putting these addresses in our DMX control system, in our software. So basically, this is power source, left hand side. We are feeding power to DMX controller. We are feeding power to each and every luminaire. The red lines are power lines. Okay, and in our DMX controller, we provide we have provided a software. We give a program. Okay, feed it to the DMX controller giving signal to the splitter or amplifier, because it is kind of a junction. It's kind of a junction that throws the signal to the different areas, because it's not possible to connect each and every luminaire with the main controller. So we have this, you can say, type of extension cord, you can say. So it brings power from one point source to another point source, and it's distributing the power to different luminaires. So already not power, basically signal. So it's distributing the signal to all luminaires. So one amplifier is connected with another amplifier also. Okay, and it's giving signal to other parts. So this is how we can control each and every luminaire of a facade system, and we can create beautiful things. Okay. So this is for today. I think it's already it, I guess. So thank you everyone. If you have any questions, doubts, you can ask.
Hello,
Anyone?
sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
স্যার লাইট এন্ড সাউন্ড শো যখন হয় তখন কি
Yes.
আরজিবি লাইটটা কি ইউজ করা হয়?
Yeah, that is a different kind of light. Here we have seen a controller for lighting only. Okay, so there will be another controller for sound. Am I clear? So if we are syncing lighting and sound, we need to be in a same system. মানে আমাদের একটা এমন সিস্টেম ডিজাইন করতে হবে যেখানে আমার লাইটের পার্টটাও থাকবে, যে কন্ট্রোলারটা লাইটটাকেও কন্ট্রোল করবে, আবার যে কন্ট্রোলারটা সাউন্ডটাকেও কন্ট্রোল করবে। সো দেয়ার উইল বি টু স্লেভ কন্ট্রোলার্স, মানে একটা স্লেভ কন্ট্রোলার হবে যারা লাইটটাকে কন্ট্রোল করবে, আর একটা স্লেভ কন্ট্রোলার হবে যেটা সাউন্ডটাকে কন্ট্রোল করবে। আর দুটো স্লেভ কন্ট্রোলার একটা মাস্টার কন্ট্রোলারে কানেক্ট হবে যে কিনা সাউন্ডও কন্ট্রোল করতে পারে আবার লাইটও কন্ট্রোল করতে পারে। ওকে, এবং প্রোগ্রামিংটা আমাদের লিখতে হবে অ্যাজ পার দ্যাট মাস্টার কন্ট্রোলার, যেখানে আমি লাইটের জন্য প্রোগ্রাম লিখবো এবং সাউন্ডের জন্য প্রোগ্রাম লিখবো। মানে যখন 001 বা 007 লাইটটা অন হবে তখন সাউন্ডের এই নোডস গুলো আমার লাগবে, লাইক দ্যাট।
স্যার হ্যালো
ইয়া,
হ্যালো স্যার, সিআরআই ম্যাক্সিমাম কত হতে পারে?
100. It's a theoretical value. Actually, CRI 100 for sun. মানে sun.
স্যার আইডিয়াল 100,
Ideally 100.
ম্যাক্সিমাম আমরা
Yes.
কত পেতে পারি?
The maximum is 100. The value is 100. হ্যাঁ,
মানে আমরা মার্কেটে কত পেতে পারি?
100 ই পেতে পারি,
100
তার বেশি
পাওয়া
পেতে
যায়
পারি না। হ্যাঁ, 100 is a theoretical value, you can say. মানে 100 এর কাছাকাছি যেটা যেতে পারে সেটা হচ্ছে তোমার বাল্ব, টাংস্টেন হ্যালোজেন, যে বাল্বের ছবিটা স্ক্রিনে দেওয়া আছে এরকম বাল্ব, অথবা টাংস্টেন হ্যালোজেন ল্যাম্প। ওকে, সো দ্যাট ইজ অলসো নট 100। ওকে, সো ডে লাইটে কি হয় যে ভিপজিওর যে স্পেকট্রামটা থাকে সেটা সবকটা কম্পোনেন্ট প্রপারলি থাকে, মানে ভিপজিওর এর সবকটা কম্পোনেন্ট প্রপারলি সানলাইটে থাকে। কিন্তু আমরা যখন একটা আর্টিফিশিয়াল লাইট ডেভেলপ করি তার মধ্যে কখনোই সবকিছু সমান থাকতে পারে না। ওকে, অ্যাজ পার দ্য মেটেরিয়াল অফ দ্য টাইপ অফ মেটেরিয়াল উই আর ইউজিং, মানে সানের সাথে যেহেতু বাল্বের কনস্ট্রাকশনের অনেক সিমিলারিটি আছে সেজন্য দুজনে প্রায় সিমিলার টাইপ অফ রেডিয়েশন এমিট করে। বাট ইন কেস অফ এলইডি, ইন কেস অফ ফ্লুরোসেন্ট ল্যাম্প, in case of HID lamps, means HPSB, metal halide, those we cannot control the CRI value to a higher much. So তাদের ক্ষেত্রে CRI value 70 to 80 90 অবধি হয় ম্যাক্স, তার উপরে যেতে পারি না because of their construction, কিছু করার নেই সেক্ষেত্রে। সো ম্যাক্সিমাম ভ্যালু ইজ 100 রেফারেন্স ধরি আমরা সানলাইটের হিসাবে, তার রেসপেক্টে আমরা ডিপেন্ড করে বানাই যে কোনটার কত ভ্যালু আসছে, comparing that sunlight spectrum.
Sir, here is an announcement. Participants, please fill up the feedback form which is provided at your chat box. So everyone, please fill up this feedback form. Okay. Okay, sir. Carry. Yes.
ম্যাম ফিডব্যাকটা তো হচ্ছে না, ফুলটি ওপেন হচ্ছে না কিছু।
Okay.
Mothumita ma'am, please check the chat box. Students cannot open the feedback form, and as Dipankar sir is not here, so we cannot solve the problem right now. So we will solve the problem later on, and we will provide the feedback form link in WhatsApp group. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we'll provide you at the WhatsApp group. Okay. So okay, sir.
I have
Carry
a
on,
question, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, which type of LED is used in HCL, human concentric light? Is RGB or any type of other near-pixel LED?
Yeah, very good question. I was expecting this question. Basically, the construction wise, the human centric lighting is somehow complex. Okay, because how I have given you the example of controlling the luminaire, RGB luminaire. In that case also, there is a complexity of structure of luminaire, and there is also a controlling system. There is a Wi-Fi system also. Basically, what we do, we are moving around cool white and warm white, right? In case of HCL, human-centric lighting, we are moving around the 6,500, 4,000, and 3,000 Kelvin, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So there will be no use of RGB. Okay. So only white light. Only white light. We need only white kind of chips. So what we do 50% warm white LEDs and 50% cool white LEDs. So whenever we want warm white, we switch on the warm white LEDs and switch off the cool white LEDs. And whenever we want cool white light, we switch on the cool white LEDs and switch off the warm white LEDs. But when we need 4000K, we need it 50-50%. Means, say for example, 50% of 6500 and 55% of 3000K. So please add it. So how it is coming? So 6500 plus 3000, right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So 50% of 65. Say for example, 50 LEDs of 6500K. 50 LEDs of 3000K। এবার 50 LEDs এর মধ্যে আমি 3000K 25টাকে অন করেছি আর 6500K 25টাকে অন করেছি, তাহলে হাফ হাফ আমাদের জ্বলছে।
হ্যাঁ
হচ্ছে তাহলে তোমার যে এফেক্টিভ সিসিটা আমি পাবো সেটা হচ্ছে 6500 প্লাস 3000 divided by 2, so 4750 Kelvin will be getting। ওকে, এবার এই যে কন্ট্রোলিং যেটা করছি আমি, মানে একটা পার্ট এলইডি কে বন্ধ করে দিচ্ছি, আরেকটা পার্টকে জ্বালাচ্ছি, এর জন্য একটা কন্ট্রোলিং সিস্টেম, সেটাতে আমাদের সিগন্যাল দিতে হয়। মানে আমি ডের এই টাইমে আমার একটা টাইমার সুইচ থাকে আর একটা ওয়াইফাই বেস সিগন্যাল সিস্টেম থাকে, যেখানে আমার লুমিনিয়ারের মধ্যে একটা থাকবে, লুমিনিয়ারের মধ্যে একটা সেন্সর থাকবে যে তোমার এমিট করবে রেডিয়েশন, সেটা কার সাথে কমিউনিকেট করবে, ওয়াইফাই সিগন্যালের সাথে কমিউনিকেট করবে। একটা গেটওয়ে থাকবে, গেটওয়ে মানে আমার কোম্পানির গেটওয়ে বা লুমিনিয়ার ম্যানুফ্যাকচারারের গেটওয়ে, সে ওখানে প্রোগ্রামটা সেট করে রাখবে আর যে এই টাইম থেকে এই টাইমের মধ্যে এই কালারের সিসিটি জ্বলবে এবং এত লাক্স লেভেলের জন্য লাইট দেবে। সবসময় কিন্তু লাক্স লেভেল সেম থাকে না, মানে ডের ইনিশিয়াল টাইমে লাক্স লেভেলটা হাই রাখা হয়, মোর দ্যান 350 লাক্স 400 লাক্স রাখা হয়। মিডল টাইমে ওটা কিন্তু 250 থেকে 300 এর মধ্যে রাখা হয়, এবং যখন অফিস থেকে সবাই বেরিয়ে যাচ্ছে তখন ওই লাইটটাকে ডিম করে আনা, ওই লাইটটাকে 150-200 এর মধ্যে রাখা।
স্যার এটা কি সার্ভারের সাথে কানেক্ট করার দরকার লাগে?
হ্যাঁ, তার কারণ লাগে, কারণটা কি, এই জিনিসটাকে অটোমেটিক করলে তোমার বারবার সব লুমিনিয়ারে ওয়্যারিং দেওয়ার দরকার হবে না। ঠিক আছে, শুধুমাত্র লুমিনিয়ারে পাওয়ার কেবল যাবে, আর লুমিনিয়ার থেকে যে সেন্সরটা লাগানো রয়েছে ও ওয়াইফাই এর থ্রুতে কমিউনিকেট করবে উইথ দ্য কন্ট্রোলার।
এমনি আরটিসি বেসড নয়?
সরি,
আরটিসি রিয়েল টাইম বেসড নয়?
রিয়েল টাইম বেসড বলতে পারো, রিয়েল টাইম বেসড বলতে পারো, কারণ এটা তিনটে অপশন থাকে। আমি তোমার একটা সিম্পল এক্সাম্পল দিলাম। এর তিনটে অপশন হচ্ছে তিনটে সিস্টেম আর্কিটেকচার, 3 টাইপের, মানে যেরকম ক্লায়েন্ট চায় সেরকম আমরা বানাই। একটা হচ্ছে পাওয়ার ওভার ইথারনেট, সেকেন্ড ওয়ান ইজ ব্লুটুথ সিস্টেম, এন্ড থার্ড ওয়ান ইজ ডালি সিস্টেম। এই তিনটে সিস্টেমের মধ্যে ক্লায়েন্ট যেটা প্রেফার করে সেটা আমরা প্রোভাইড করি। এর মধ্যে ডালি সিস্টেমটা মাচ কস্টলিয়ার, কারণ ডালি দিয়ে অনেক কিছু কন্ট্রোল করা যায়, ডিমিং করা যায়, চেঞ্জিং করা যায়, মনিটরিং করা যায়, তো দ্যাট ইজ আ কস্টলিয়ার অ্যাফেয়ার। So we generally provide this system, means this is controllable through Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. So this is less costlier, and যেখানে প্রচুর লুমিনিয়ার লাগবে, প্রচুর অ্যামাউন্টের এরিয়া রয়েছে, সেখানে আমরা এটাই প্রোভাইড করি। এখানে আর যেখানে স্মল একটা কনফারেন্স রুমেই হবে বা কোনো একটা ছোট একটা অফিসে হবে, সেখানে ডালি সিস্টেম প্রোভাইড করি।
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah,
sir, is there any scope of computer science and engineering students in this field?
Basic background they require always about electrical engineering. Because but this is not actually, this is not means I don't think there is a boundary of computer engineers to flourish this industry. So
no, I am asking sir that regarding this issue, there is any part of this project, means this illumination, anything can be done by computers, anything can be required, means in computer science engineering students can do anything in this regarding this matter? I am asking about that.
I think obviously, because whatever software we are doing with, whatever controlling system we are dealing with, everything is designed by computer science engineers and EC engineers, electronics communication engineers or people. So we are just using those. We can manufacture the luminaire, but we cannot manufacture the intelligence. So manufacture the intelligence and the software. That is the future. Okay, so those two things will be designed by computer science engineers and electronics telecommunication.
Yes. Okay, sir. Okay.
So there must be, obviously there is scope.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Is there any questions from participants? Do you have any questions? So, sir, I think no more questions from the participant side. So thank you, sir. Thank you for this wonderful session. And obviously the session was very much interactive and interesting one also. Thank you, sir. So now on behalf of Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management, we are facilitating you, sir, with a digital memento. Please share the digital memento, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. This is for you, sir. Please accept it. Okay,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, on behalf of Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management and the entire team of Institution Innovation Council, I extend a very hearty vote of thanks to our speaker, Mr. Nilabja Bhattacharya, for gracing your important ideas and concepts and sharing with us your findings and opinions today, sir.
Yeah.
And obviously, my sincere gratitude to our principal madam for her enthusiasm and encouragement to arrange this type of webinar. And I also wish to express my sincere gratitude to our HOD sir of Electrical Engineering Department and convener of IIC, and all the members of Institutions Innovation Council of Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management. And obviously, last not the least, I'm expressing my sincere thanks to all the participants for being with us. So thank you, all of you. Thank
Thanks,
you.
sir. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good night, sir.
Good night. Good night. Stay happy. Stay healthy.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Okay,
everyone.
sir.
Bye.
Thank you.